where dreams collide. Sarah's voice, a gentle guide through the realms of time and space. She takes us to a sacred place.
What are dragons' relationship to the soul? Do they have a relationship with the soul, dragons?
Very much so. So we would say that every soul has a corresponding dragon associated with it that is created at the same time as the soul is. And within that framework, the energy of the dragon serves much like an electron and an atom, or the way a comet operates within astrology. So they act as a power influencer that when they come into contact with the soul, it can push the consciousness up to a higher energetic when understood that they're there for that. So they represent a kind of power to the soul. And within that framework, they serve to enhance lifetimes where their contact is made. So while
Really?
they exist and while they're there, not all lifetimes would someone necessarily have interaction with the path that that aspect of consciousness is rotating along. So it's like if you picture again an electron moving around an atom and you were to stop at a particular point in time to view the position of that electron, the electron is not always going to be in front of you or close to you. Sometimes it may be farther away. Sometimes that it may be right in front of you or close to you. And those lifetimes where the dragon is within that field of closeness to you or in front of you is a lifetime where you can connect with them to elevate one's own inner power. So it's as if the energy and consciousness of one's dragon can lift the soul an octave higher in frequency or several octaves higher in frequency.
How do you connect with your dragon? How do you do this? Like, so everyone has a dragon then, and they're created at the same time, then how do you like meet your dragon and how does that
Inten
work?
intention. So one would go into a meditative state and feel within them that point of power and ask to connect with it. They may even feel it around their energy field, or if they just attempt to tune into it, they'll become aware of a point. And again, it may be inside their energy field, it may be external, it may be even as if your awareness is being brought to a different point in the universe. But that point of awareness is the location of one's dragon, which is not always static, as they're not static consciousness, but moving force.
Oh, okay, that's so interesting. Um, what is the oldest dragon's relationship to the divine feminine?
She observes all of creation on behalf of the divine feminine. So she bears ultimate witness to all of creation, which is not something that the divine feminine necessarily does. So within that framework, she sees the experiences of everything, all the pain, all the joy, all the evolution. From the beginning of creation onwards, she has been witness to it. And then within her relationship to the divine feminine, she serves as a kind of filter to what that experience is so that the divine feminine can fulfill the energetic representative role that the divine feminine plays throughout creation. The mother, the caretaker, the one who senses danger. And so the oldest dragon acts as the filter to all of that so that the essence of what that universal experience is can be sifted down into a finer structure. So it's almost like the oldest dragon is sifting through universal experience, and what's coming out the other end is purified consciousness. That is then what is reflected or fed to the divine feminine in action. So she witnesses all of it, and it is in constant communication with the divine feminine as a result of that role.
Is
One
she?
would say that they are inseparable.
Wow, that's amazing. Is she really Shekinah? What
Yes.
is? How so?
So the understanding of Shekinah is the power of the divine feminine. So Shekinah is not the divine feminine as humanity has been taught, but is the power of the divine feminine and the transformational effect that's represented within that framework of energetic creation, which flows through all of creation.
Can you tell me more about that?
It does not matter what dimension one moves into. You still have the presence of the divine masculine and the divine feminine that expresses itself across all layers, across all time, across all dimensions, even to the point of reemergence with God. You still have the energetic influence of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and that was part of the system of creation that God undertook within God's self to experience the game of creation across the multiverse and across God's unique unfolding of God's consciousness. And so within that framework, if you look at the example of the electron and the effect of the electron on the atom, and that electron being a power center or a main point of power to elevate to a higher degree, that is what that represents for the divine feminine. And so Shekinah is the power of the divine feminine in action. It's the ability to observe and judge. But the judgment doesn't necessarily come from what humans perceive as judgment. It's more the awareness of the truth in things, universal truths, spiritual truths, divine truths. And so Shekinah as the witness to all of creation. who then sifts those experiences down to the essence, such that the divine feminine can understand itself even deeper and understand the way that those energies manifest and play themselves out throughout the entirety of creation.